There is no doubt Kristal Frisbie's life ended in a horrible death. Plunging 6 stories from the balcony of her St. Louis apartment.
How far of a fall is that?
It would be roughly about 75 feet.
While cops quickly ruled she deliberately jumped to her own demise,
I know my friend, and she didn't do this.
others say the tragic events on that fatal evening don't add up. Friday night in St. Louis, Kristal Frisbie was out on the town celebrating some great news with close friends.
She had told me how excited she was to start her job on Tuesday, how it's going to make things look better for her and Aaron, because now she can start, contributing again. She was just started. Matter of fact, she decided to start working out at a gym because she wanted to get more in shape. Everything was looking up for her.
Friends say Kristal was always excited and upbeat, and her bubbly personality is why they love to be around her.
The person you could always count on to pick you up if you were feeling down.
It's also why complete strangers couldn't forget her.
Everybody remembered Kristal.
Even the woman at the 7-Eleven today.
Even the woman at 7-Eleven.
She was always a happy, cheerful person whenever she came in the store.
That's how Alyssa McGee says she was the last time they saw her alive. Kristal heading home after a fun night out with friends.
They told me that she had came in, bought scratch-offs. She was smiling and in good spirits.
Matthew Allen, a private investigator, says he saw store security video from that night. Kristal buys a bottle of wine, and what the receipt shows looks like future plans for some good luck. 4 lottery tickets.
She's joking, she's laughing. She stands there, she buys scratch-off lottery tickets and scratches them off as she's talking to them, and they're all kind of laughing, and then she exits.
Just after 11 o'clock, Kristal walks across the street and heads up to the 6th floor apartment she shared with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Aaron Flood. After 5 years together, friends say the couple's rocky romance was coming to an end.
Kristal confided in me that they were having issues.
The breakup couldn't come soon enough for Kristal's longtime friend, Tammy Scott.
He was being insulting to her and telling her that if he were to meet his dream girl, that she would be out the door immediately.
Sherry Davison says her daughter wasn't waiting for that day to come. With money from her new job, Kristal was planning to move out.
She started packing a few things here and there. She was definitely going to leave. No ands, ifs, or buts.
But just 2 hours after Kristal was laughing with the clerks at 7-Eleven, Aaron would later tell cops that he returned home to find her crying on their living room couch. He could tell she'd been drinking, and he says she went from talking about the death of her father to letters he'd received from an ex-girlfriend. He claims at one point, Kristal grew belligerent and physical, throwing roses across the room and shattering a vase. He says she demanded he leave, but he refused to go. Crime Watch Daily ordered this animation to show what Aaron Flood told cops happened inside apartment 601. According to the police report, Aaron says Kristal stated she was done with him and then walked out onto the balcony. He claims she placed one leg up on the railing and slid over to the other side. After a moment, he says, she squatted down, then let go.
She strikes the 4th floor balcony where a witness actually heard her strike the balcony, and then she comes on down and she impacts in front of those double doors.
Aaron ran downstairs, finding Kristal lying face up in the building's courtyard. Paramedics say the 41-year-old died on impact from severe traumatic injuries. She was pronounced dead just before 2 o'clock in the morning. When cops arrived, they say Aaron was crying and very emotional.
When I first got the phone call, and I'm thinking it was awful early for Kristal to be calling me.
It wasn't Kristal. It was the St. Louis Police Department calling to deliver the tragic news about her daughter's death.
I hardly ever listen to my voicemail that often, and something told me to listen to it.
Most of Kristal's friends learned about her death from a Facebook post left by Aaron. He writes, quote, "I'm afraid I had the worst news possible. At 2 a.m. this morning, my life partner Kristal took her own life by stepping off our 6th floor balcony. I just couldn't stop her in time. She was loved by everyone who knew her, not just by me. Thank you, everyone who has already contacted me. Your thoughts and prayers make this almost bearable.
He had posted that he had the worst of news, that Kristal had taken her own life by stepping off of their 6th floor balcony at 2 a.m. And before he could get to her, she jumped.
Cops questioned Aaron and the building security guard that night. The next day, Kristal's death was ruled a suicide. Her heartbroken friends and family were in disbelief.
She would never climbed over a railing and pushed herself off. There's no way in hell anyone can tell me anything differently than that.
She would not have done this over a man, over an argument.
Sherry also couldn't believe her daughter would take her own life, and her shock would soon turn to suspicion. After a phone call from Aaron.
Aaron calls me up wanting my husband and I to come down the same day, collect all of her things from St. Louis. I was in disbelief. I said, Aaron, that's impossible. And he starts screaming and yelling.
Sherry handed the phone to her husband and hasn't talked to Aaron since. Up next, a bizarre memorial service leaves mourners stunned.
It was so upsetting. It was unreal.
And does a private investigator uncover clues that cops didn't find?
I think that it will obviously shed a new light on the circumstances.
Then Kristal's boyfriend Aaron Flood finally talks, and only to Crime Watch Daily.
I'm tired of having people, set up, websites, calling me a murderer. I'm the victim here.
She could tell that it was a man and a woman fighting. And her thought was, someone's going to kill someone.
That was her thought?
Her actual statement to me was, that sounds like a man's about to kill a woman.